project, we have lots of great tools for you to use. When you get to the library, you will find these neato microphones. You have to make sure that they're on and they use the USB drive in the computer. You can check them out in Radar Advantage as well. If you look over here at the screen, I'll show you the program we're going to use. It's called Microsoft Photostory 3. The first thing they ask you is if you'd like to begin a new story, and then you click Next. Now you have to import pictures. Unlike PowerPoint, you can't do any work on this program until you import some pictures to work with. I suggest as you do your research, you start saving pictures that you see in a folder on your Z drive so that you're ready to start. Make sure that you choose the full-size image and not just the thumbprint that you see on Google Images. You select the picture you want and hit OK. It then brings the picture onto the screen. All of the work you do in Photostory will be attached to pictures. There's editing features as well. You can remove borders. You can add multiple pictures at once or add a few at a time. There's no limit on how many pictures you need, and the more pictures you have, the more interesting your documentary will be. Once you've added some pictures, you hit the Next button. You always say yes. And then there's some interesting effects you can add. You can turn it into a black and white picture, sepia, or you can even wash it out so you can see text. Next, you can add a title. This is not like PowerPoint, so you're not going to type all your information. However, you can have titles. You can make them bold. You can change the font just like you can in any other program. You can also move the words around on the page. Once you've added the text and the effects you want, you hit Next again. This is the slide where you record. After you've written down all of your research on note cards, you're going to use your note cards as a script. You're going to read directly from the cards. Make sure that you fill out your research cards, because if the project gets lost or we can't hear your recording, we can still grade your cards. This red button here is the record button. You have to make sure that your microphone is on, and then you hit the red button and speak directly into the microphone. Bangladesh, a country in Central Southeast Asia, a project by Mrs. Hall. This square is the stop button, and this button deletes what you made if you don't like it and you made a mistake. The preview button allows you to hear your own voice and see how it sounds. Bangladesh, a country in Central Southeast Asia, a project by Mrs. Hall. If you don't like it, you can delete it and do it again. Just remember that as soon as you record, it's attached to the picture. You can move and drag your pictures however much you want, but you have to remember that if you've recorded, it will stay with that picture. So your words could get scrambled if you move your pictures after you record. When you're happy with your recording, you hit the Next button again. This is where you can add music. If you choose to bring in your own music, it has to be in Windows Media File format. Also, remember that you're at school, so make sure that's the radio edit version of whatever music you choose. We don't want to hear anything inappropriate. You can also create music using this program. You hit the Create Music button, and then you can choose different genres of music. You can choose different tones or modes, even how fast it goes. And you can test your music as well. There's so many options, you'll have fun playing around with it. Just make sure that you bring in headphones so that practicing your music over and over won't drive everybody crazy. You can also preview it to see how it sounds with your voice. Bangladesh, a country in Central Southeast Asia, a project by Mrs. Hall. My music is a little loud and it's hard to hear me talk. If you grab this bar, you can change how loudly the music plays to make sure we can still hear your voice. When you're ready to stop because it's the end of the period, don't hit the Next button. Hit the Save Project button. It will default to Documents, which means it won't be there the next time that you log on. Make sure that you scroll down and you find your student number with your Z drive to save it in the place that you want it. Or you can save it on your own flash drive. When you're all done with your project, you hit the Next button and then you ask it to convert it into a Windows Media file. That turns it into a movie. But once you've done that, you can no longer edit your work.